Welcome to this edition of Road Trippin with Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye, Kendrick Perkins. I'm Allie Clifton. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How many days can you go? When do we stop saying Happy New Year to people that you have not seen?
2 weeks.
Really?
2 weeks. If you're seeing people for the first time, 2 weeks is a fair.
Today's the 8th, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I would rather, you know what? I'd rather it go all the way up to like the middle of February, because the one thing I hate texting and replying to texts saying Happy New Year, same to you, Happy New. Like, I don't like that shit. So when I see you, like, I'm not jumping out on the ledge and texting people and saying Happy New Year. When I see you, I'm gonna tell you. Same thing with Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and all that other stuff. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
It aggravates the hell out of me.
For the first time in February, and you're going to tell me Happy New Year?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
PYP. Love it. That right there is an indication, though, Perk, that we're going to have to give Rich 2 weeks to reply to your text message today.
Yes, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Richard, are you growing your beard out, dog?
No,
Dude.
it's a bit of a hectic time. No.
Richard, grow it out for 1 month, the whole thing.
How about you grow out yours the whole thing for a month?
Can't, dude.
Oh, there you have it. There you have it. Yeah.
This is 3 weeks of hair. I'm getting a haircut right after this.
You say that.
This is 3 weeks of hair.
All right. Rich has a game to call tonight, which is unfortunate because we won't be able to talk about the biggest game in the NBA.
The biggest game of the year.
Thunder, because this is coming out tomorrow. We can talk about the teams. We'll do that in a second. But we got to speed this thing up. First of all, Channing, will you let the people know? Perk and Rich already know, but will you let the people know, our Road Trippin audience, that you have paid up on one of your bets?
I paid up on Oregon, Ohio State. That hurt. The first couple, you should have seen me. I was sitting in this cabin, and I'm like trying to cuss, but I'm in a house full of all Oregon people. And so I was just like, man, that's the last time. It's the last time I bet on y'all. But it hurt.
That's fair.
Ohio State is really good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Say it louder. I hope that all the Oregon people in that house were cussing. They should have been.
Yeah, they were, but they didn't lose X amount of dollars. So, it is what it is.
I will say,
Skunk should have paid. Skunk should have paid double. But go ahead.
What?
Skunk paid double. Didn't they get beat by 21? What was the spread?
No, we're not playing. We're not doing that.
No.
I just said we said outright.
Usually when it's like, if you take a team in basketball and they get dubbed, or they get in football, they get beat by 3 touchdowns, Skunk pay double. But hey, that was y'all bet.
You doing the Skunk pay double? Oh.
No.
Yeah, I didn't want to jump into that alley. I should have, but hey, that's okay.
We don't do that with Arizona, because Arizona football, people don't want that. We don't want that. Then Arizona basketball, they don't want that. So we don't do the Skunk pay double.
Well, nowadays, everybody trying to take all the bets for Arizona. Your boy, I said, hey, we got to give it a year, brother. You killing my budget. We not winning shit.
I know you're from Houston. You live in Houston, Perk, but the Buckeyes are about to invade the state of Texas on Friday. Would you like to take a bet with me?
No, absolutely.
Wise man. All right, so now to the second bet that has taken over actually our text chain. If y'all could see a running grid of our text chain, really between Perk and Channing, every once in a while, Rich will chime in and say the same thing that's already been said. But where is the bet, and where does it lie right now between you two on Jimmy Butler, and where the hell he's gonna land? And what do we know per your sources, Perk? Who wants to start?
Go ahead, Shannon.
Listen, here's the thing. Yeah, one box me.
Called a one shot.
Jimmy Butler wants to go to the Suns. The Suns want Jimmy Butler. The problem is nobody wants Bradley Beal and that big-ass nasty contract of his. Okay? No matter what they do, they're putting lipstick on a pig by putting him to the bench and saying, ooh, look, you scored 25 versus Philly. Is Bradley Beal a good player? Absolutely. Is he $50 million for the next 3 years with a no-trade clause? Hell to the no. And if I'm the Miami Heat, you're not bullying me into taking that contract. Now, you bring me somebody who's viable, where we can actually have some wins, some picks, some something, make it nice, then we could do a 3-team thing. But who else is going to take on Bradley Beal's no-trade clause contract? Okay, secondly, you're telling all these good teams, no, I don't want to go there. Memphis is 3 in the West. Milwaukee is, what are they, 3rd or 4th in the East, or 5th. So like all these good teams actually want Jimmy Butler. He don't want to go. So then that shows that it's a money thing. Get your money, Jimmy. I'm down with that. But also, you've limited your number to one thing, and they don't have no assets to give you. Also, it doesn't move the needle whatsoever for the Phoenix Suns. It doesn't address nothing. They are boo-boo on defense. They don't have any height. They have one tall dude, two, Plumlee and KD. It doesn't do anything for them. They still need to address big issues. That's my thing. It's not going to work. He's going to end up going somewhere for a year and just having to deal with it. Or he's just going to stay in Miami.
Again, to reset the table, Channing took the field. Perk has Jimmy going to the Suns in this little bet.
Well, Channing, listen. Yes, it's about two things, okay? It's about money, right? And from my sources, they're telling me that the Suns have a 2-year, $121 million extension waiting on Jimmy. Okay?
I believe it.
All right. I mean, I ain't no genius, but that's like 60 a year, okay?
Woo, somebody is drunk over there.
Hold on. Keep a cool booty. All right. Here's the next thing. Okay. It's about relationships. And the relationship is Jimmy Butler and Kevin Durant. Ooh. Now, I told you this about 2 weeks ago when we made this bet that not only do Phoenix, yes, the organization, they want him. You know why? Because Kevin Durant wants Jimmy Butler. And if he does get Jimmy Butler, which I believe he will, they're both going to sign contract extensions. KD is going to sign as well. Now, what happens with Devin Booker in the near future, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this would make sense. Pat Riley, people are afraid to say this, it's time for the old man to shut it down.
No, everyone knows that.
No. Everybody knows it, but nobody want to say it. It's time for him to retire.
Why do you say that? Bert? Because I'm going to set up the question. Why do you say that? Because they went to the finals 2 out of the last 5 years. And this is an overachieving roster. Jimmy Butler has a history in Minnesota, and I think it was Chicago. Philly. He has a history of when he starts to get disgruntled. Not that he's not great. So for Jimmy Butler to want out, why do you feel like it's time for Pat Riley to move on when he's had success?
Well, look, Jimmy Butler is also known to go to organizations and make them winners. Okay, the reason that they've been to the finals is because of playoff Jimmy. All right, now here's the thing. Jimmy didn't just come up with this out of nowhere. Didn't Jimmy want to resign with the Miami Heat?
Yeah, yes,
no, RJ. Yes or no. We've been on good terms.
He wants that money. Yes, okay. He wants that money.
Didn't he? Yes or no? He wanted to sign with the Miami Heat. Pat Riley said we're not giving Jimmy Butler an extension. Okay, Jimmy Butler goes into training camp, right? Eric Spoelstra offense is
featuring
around who?
Bam
and
Tyler Hero. So Jimmy, what the fuck I'm doing here? What am I doing here? If y'all don't need me anymore, and y'all telling me that y'all about to start building around Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, I'm cool. Y'all don't want to give me a contract extension? Cool. Well, at least do me a favor and get me somewhere that I want to be.
Can't he wait
Now Pat Riley's pride is in the way, right? Because this all it is. It's a pride thing. So your pride is in the way. The team has to deal with this, whatever you want to call it, a distraction on a night-to-night basis. Eric Spoelstra got to deal with this distraction on a game-to-game basis, practice-to-practice basis. Damn, bro. It's okay. Pat Riley, you're a legend. No one will ever take that away from you. But at some point, it's time to hand over the damn keys.
I will say, on NBA TV, I looked at every big signing that they've had since 2020. Do you know who's the biggest signing that they've had since 2020?
As free agent or just
as a free agent?
No, tell me.
Goran Dragic in 2020. Everyone else has been homegrown, right? Tyler Hero, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Bam. They had Andre Iguodala old, PJ Tucker old. They had all these older dudes. So I get it from Jimmy's side. I'm not saying either side is correct. What I am saying is Jimmy has put himself in a situation where it's like, I want to go here with this one player and this one team, but that one team, their only piece is not a piece that is appealing, right? Like Brooklyn, when KD said, hey, get me out of here. I want to go to Brooklyn and I want Kyrie. Brooklyn said, well, give me some pieces back, right? Or James Harden said, hey, I want to go to, Philly or I want to go to Brooklyn too. There was pieces. There was like, okay, is this going to work or whatever is this? There were pieces that would work. What I am saying is not that Jimmy or Pat are right or wrong, because I think both of them are wrong. I think that Phoenix and Bradley Beal's non-trade clause or his trade clause is the biggest issue, and the fact that he's making $150 million.
And it goes
issue.
And it goes back to Washington. What the fuck were you thinking?
Well, look at the team. The Generals, dude.
They had no choice.
They should get fined. They should lose their pick for not win. They might not win 10 games this year.
Yeah, but also giving Bradley Beal that extension with the no trade clause is kind of like that one.
Something.
You know how many people would take what the Miami Heat have right now with all this distraction, Jimmy playing 22 of 35 games, being suspended, all the things that he has said publicly around the team in press conferences, and you're still in the playoffs.
But that's the Miami Heat, though.
Exactly.
They are not good.
So no, they are not. But
they win.
Not,
but think about not having the distractions.
But they have a then they would have 5 or 6 more wins. They have a standard that they maintain. Jimmy is messing with the standard because he wants his money, understandably. And Jimmy also knows that if I play this year, then play next year, all of a sudden, what am I, 36, 37? So the opportunity, the best time to get that extension, the last one is the 33 to 34-year-old extension, right? That's what Bron and Chris Paul.
35.
But I'm saying that's the best time to get it because you're 33 and like the extension takes you through 36, 37. Well, he's later in that extension. So for him to be like, okay, I'm going to play this out for 2 years and then be 37 looking for it, that's bad spot. So his leverage is I need to get out now while I'm still, in this kind of latter third of my prime and then go get 1 or 2 years on the back end. And some teams will pay for the 2 years of Jimmy and then figure out what to do on the next 2 years.
Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, you pay for it. You pay for it to keep Kevin Durant.
But the last thing I'll say about KD, as great as he is, he's still one of the best players in the NBA. I think he could still lead a team to a championship. At what time has KD been teaming up with his boys worked out the way he would like? Because before he loved Devin Booker, there was a mutual respect. Now they're not getting along. Don't really mess with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's out. Now they're going to bring in Jimmy Butler potentially because that's what KD wants. Are we seeing that like?
When, by the way, did all that go south? Weren't they just on Team USA together and everything was cooking and great? And like, we don't have to get into the dramatics of all of that, but it's like.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're doing outside the lines. Like, I didn't see any videos of D Book and KD kicking it, at dinner or, what I'm saying, when they, club hopping together or whatever. But Allie, Richard, Channing, hear me out. I'm so happy you brought up that point about KD because I got crucified about, I think, matter of fact, it was Christmas Day. I got crucified Christmas Day because I said that Kevin Durant is not in the same conversation with Steph Curry and LeBron James. And people was like, how you go disrespect Kevin Durant like that? It's not disrespect. Those two guys are fucking mega stars, right? Like, it's a difference. Those two guys, they changed the economy. When I'm talking about Steph and Bron, KD is not there yet. And to be honest with you, I don't know if anybody's going to look at KD the same because it's been a disaster since he left Steph Curry. He has not won. He didn't win. You're talking about when he went to the Nets, right? He went to the Nets, one of the biggest probably failures in NBA history with that big three with him, Kyrie, and James Harden. Now you get to the Phoenix Suns, who gave up Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and how many picks? about
all
3
of
or
them,
4.
all of them, all of them,
right? And now you're in Phoenix where you're looking like, oh, okay, you got KD and D booked, and then they make a move and get Bradley Beal big 3, and you're here. Now you want Jimmy? I'm just saying.
Well, we're less than a month away from the NBA trade deadline, so we'll see who wins this bet.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I did the research.
Oh, for the first time.
No, motherfucker. NBA TV, you know we got to do some research.
I'm joking. We got to do that. They
right,
stay
we
on our
regurgitate stats on that motherfucking station. Okay, listen. Look, there's only been one time in the last 20 years that a player has forced his way out and won. Who was that player?
Kawhi Leonard.
No. He had an injury. So Kawhi Leonard, but he had an injury. So we're talking about a healthy player saying, hey, I'm done with this. You're not building.
Since when?
The last 20 years. But this guy did it.
Huh? Robert Ory.
Davis.
Robert Ory.
It's Anthony Davis. Is the only one to actually do a big star go, hey, I'm done with this. Y'all ain't trying to win, whatever, 2020. But look who played with him. They built a perfect team. You can't keep, for me, if I'm Phoenix, and I could vouch for Jimmy or I can't vouch. If I'm Phoenix, I go, man, I could bring in Jimmy, pay him all this money, but you're still not addressing winning.
Yes, they are. Listen, bro. Yes,
you're not paying $60 million for somebody who's going to miss 30 games.
Look, no. Look,
you're paying $60 million for 50 games. You're paying $1 million a game.
Look, Shannon. Please do not underestimate getting a wild card and a dog in your locker room for not addressing.
He's not even there half the time.
Hold on. But look, that's addressing winning. Before the season, this same Phoenix Suns team, I had them as my dark horse to win it all. Like, no one could tell me that they shouldn't. Like, come on now. We all thought that the Suns should be better than what they are right now.
Of course, they're trash right now.
I would say this. Jimmy Butler is a better fit for that team than Bradley Beal. And I don't think everyone's like, oh, that's obvious, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about
how many mid-range guys do y'all need?
No. So you say mid-range, like KD's a mid-range. No. They're complete offensive players. They have post-game, they have mid-range, they have deep three, they have like at the line. So we can't just say, oh, they're just adding a mid-range
watching
player.
Jimmy this year. He don't got the 3 ball.
I'm not talking about Jimmy. I'm talking about KD and Buck. KD and Buck. Anyways.
4 for 10?
Channing.
4 for 10, Allie? Come on, man. Don't give me that.
So Channing will defer to jokes when facts come in. He'll defer to jokes.
Hey, ain't nobody said, hey, Jimmy Butler's killing from the 3. They just don't say that.
But what I'm saying is, though, if you have 3-point shooters around him, he is a guy that is an in-between defensive guy. He can handle the ball. He's a point of attack defender. He can guard the best player on whatever team that you ask him for 60 games, right? Like, that's who Jimmy Butler is.
On 1 make on 2 attempts a game, Channing, okay? I stand corrected. By the way, too, 5 or 6 more wins for the Miami Heat would have them in the 3 spot in Eastern Conference. So I rest my case as well. Also, moving forward, can we talk about, instead of the 12th team in the Western Conference, though we're going to be keeping an eye on this bet, because if y'all could really see our text chain, basically what we are doing right now is what's happening.
It's the best. I wake up for it. I look for it.
Literally, I think you do. All right, can we talk about what's going on at the top of the conferences? Again, the game is happening tonight between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cavs. However, the Thunder have won 15 straight, even though they lost the NBA Cup championship, which just drives me crazy that streak continues. The Cavs have won 10 straight. What are we watching with these 2 teams? What are they showing you, whether it's in their respective conferences, what we see at the end of it all? Are you still the same at the very beginning that you said, Channing, that the Cavs are still just a regular season team? You want to see what they can do in the okay.
So 2 things I'm looking for. Evan Mobley's improvement and physicality inside with Jared Allen. Are they going to take advantage of that? And Darius Garland. When he gets on these switches, can he defend? Remember we talked about Boston? The first game they played Boston, they were doing the, ice, and they got cooked. Then Kenny Atkinson and Darius Garland, Cleveland say, hey, we can't do that no more. Like, that's how we're going to win, is we got to switch, and he got to man up. and they've been doing it, and they've been balling. So what I thought last year and the year before, they looked like a very regular season team because they were just running that screen and roll for Donovan Mitchell, and it got a little repetitive for me. Now, Evan Mobley's been balling. That ball is popping. Defensively, they're locked in. They're being physical. They're switching up and trusting each other. So to me, if Darius Garland can handle his assignment today, because they're going to search for him, right? They're going to look for him. And if he can handle his assignment, I think Cleveland wins this game by 8.
Oh, damn.
I'm not making a prediction in this game because I'm calling the game, so I'm going to be very respectful of that position. I would say this: the two teams, do you remember when Golden State, everyone was kind of like, oh, they're a 3-point shooting team, no 3-point shooting team. It is their job to prove that they are not just a regular season team, because we've seen a ton of regular season teams. You go back to Toronto, Atlanta, Utah. There was a bunch of regular season teams, and so they're great, dominant. But we know this: there are certain teams like Toronto, they would get the number 1 seed. Atlanta, they would be great. But there are certain teams that were built for the postseason, like we were, like other teams, and there are certain teams that are built for the regular season. So it is OKC and Cleveland's job to prove that they are not it's not for us to believe or this and that. I'm not believing something until it's proven. They have all the talent, but if Cleveland goes to the conference finals this year, if OKC goes to the conference finals, now I believe that they are a playoff team and they might be one player away or one good performance away from making it to the NBA finals. But as far as proving that they're a regular season team, that is not for us. That is for them to prove that they are not that. We know Cleveland isn't that. We know, the old Cleveland. We know Boston currently right now isn't that. We know that there are teams that have had playoff success, or what I would say, even there are players. Denver, they're lacking players, but they've had playoff success. So to me, the way I see it is there's a couple of teams that have proven that they are playoff teams. There's a bunch of players that have proven that they are playoff players, like Denver has, like Milwaukee has. They have Giannis, they have those guys, but they haven't proved that they are a playoff team yet. So I think that those two teams fall in the line of they have to prove that they are those teams. And we get to observe and watch.
Well, let me say this: OKC don't have to prove a damn thing to me. Listen, they're going to the NBA Finals.
Ooh.
SGA is going to win the MVP.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Jalen Williams is going to be a first-time All-Star. And look,
that's not a stretch, Channing.
Hold on, it's not a stretch at all. That is not a stretch. He is doing exactly what a Robin in this role is supposed to do. People be like, well, why is he not doing more? They're fucking 30-something at 5.
Yeah,
what more do he need to do? Look, OKC check all the boxes, right? We was praising Sam Presti, and rightfully so, this offseason about going get Isaiah Hardenstein. He did that. He's averaging a double-double, 12 and 12 on 56% shooting. Okay. Then he goes out and he gets Alex Caruso for 2 second-round picks. Now, hear me out. We haven't even been screaming Alex Caruso name over the last 2-3 months. Hell, I don't even know if he's been a factor on the floor.
No, he's been hurt. Been hurt most of the time.
But listen, that's
he's on
how.
My fantasy team. That's how I know.
But that's how deep the Oklahoma City Thunder team is. When you all of a sudden look up and you're getting on certain nights in big games, fucking 20-something points and 15 points from Wiggins off the bench, that's when you know you got depth, right? When it's a certain type of swag that they have and confidence level. Let me tell you something. The other night, I watched that fucking game from start to finish, the Celtics OKC. SGA basically said, hey, hell yeah, we looking forward to this game. They defend the champs. We want to see it. Damn it, he didn't disappoint. And the great thing about him, he does it on both ends of the floor. Yeah. The Cavs, here's my concern about the Cavs. Do I believe that they're the second best team in the East? Absolutely. I think the Knicks are right there under them at the third spot, but I still think it's Boston. Can the Cavs beat them? I do. My only problem with the Cavs is when it comes down to getting stops at the wing position, who are they going to call on? Is it going to be a Coro? Like, can he consistently throughout the course of the playoffs be assigned to go stop a Jaylen Brown or a Jason Tatum or Apollo Banchero or Jalen Brunson? Like, who is their stopper? If you look at all the teams that have that are considered contenders, they have a stopper. Somebody on that wing position that's going to clamp the fuck up. Cleveland don't have that, in my opinion.
Okay.
They don't.
To that point, tonight's going to be a great test because, Perk, I saw this when it happened, and I believe it was after that Oklahoma City game versus the Celtics. You tweeted that you feel Shai is the best perimeter player, offensive player.
Oh, in the league.
In the NBA.
Yeah, he's unguardable.
Rich
in the league.
1 second.
I saw that tweet from you, Perk, and I was like, oh, I want to talk about this.
No, this is the thing. I believe that Perk believes that. I think that no, but I'm saying, no, you can make an argument right now when you look at his offensive production, his late game production, the overall scoring. Currently, right now, this season, he is the best perimeter playing guard in the league, in my opinion. I believe that. Yeah, I don't see that much different for what he was saying.
He's shooting 52% from the field. Do you know how
we're just talking offense?
Yes, he's the best offensive perimeter player in the game. He's third in the league in scoring behind Jokic and Giannis. And he's shooting 52% from the field.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying he's not, but I was gonna say I think there's a sleeper for 2 or 3. And you're not gonna agree with me, but I think you need to give the little fella a little credit.
Who?
Trae Young.
Oh, no, I'm next.
Hey, I be talking shit when he don't play right. The Hawks, because I go to Atlanta, I'm like, man, put the Hawks game on right now. Jalen Johnson is one of my favorite young players.
He's very good.
Dude, how people don't know more about him and the Thompson twin in Houston, those two dudes, hey, what?
He had, by the way, that motherfucker has no ceiling. I went to the game. I didn't see him. I saw him twice this season live in action. I'm talking about Amen Thompson.
Yeah.
He's different, dog. First of all, I didn't know he was 6'7", 6'8".
Yes.
He clamps up. He rebounds at a high level. He's stupid athletic, and he's in that starting lineup. Let me tell you, Jalen Green, Şengün, and Thompson, that's the core. And if I'm Houston, another thing, off topic, do not trade for Jimmy Butler.
No, I don't think they're going that route.
But it's there. It's there.
It's there. There's conversation. There. Okay. But I would say this. As a perimeter defender, perimeter wing player, he's a hybrid because he's still a very, very young player. I couldn't shoot a 3 until my 3rd year, and it got to me to like 35%. But I came
actually, it was your 13th year. But keep
no, it was my third. It was my third year. First of all, I hit 40% early on in my career. But I say that to say, 4 out of 10. Yeah, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. I just say that. So but I say that I think that his talent, yes, the one place that if I see an area where like he can go from a Jimmy Butler type defender, ball handler, like finisher, if he improves his shot to I don't even need elite, just to a good spot, his athleticism and things that he could do, yeah, because now you got to get a little bit closer. Now the playmaking increases. Now the finishing increases. That's where the ceiling goes up, right? When you're like, he has no ceiling. Right now, they don't have a late game guy, in my opinion. That's where he can take that level. But he's only in his 2nd year, so there's plenty of time. I think he's going to be a talented dude. But to your point, physically, yeah, he's a problem.
I just don't think he knows how to play basketball yet, personally.
Yeah, you do.
No. Just hear me out. I think he is locked in defensively. He is getting so much better at making plays for other people.
Channing, yes. He's been doing this. The problem is that he doesn't have the ball in his hands enough, and he's finally getting Ime Udoka trust. Now, as soon as Fred VanVleet is out of there, you watch him be a walking triple-double. He got it in this game already.
Okay.
Can we go back to the idea that beginning whose name on here you guys can't see is 50 Shades of Trae? And Trae coming off 24 and 20 last night. Why you believe that Trae Young could potentially be a better offensive perimeter player than Shai?
I think offensively, I think we've all seen what Trae can do, what he wants to score the ball at will. And it is sometimes we don't like it, sometimes we do. I think the maturity, and I don't know what conversation or whether it was because Atlanta couldn't trade him or they finally got the right pieces around him or guys were healthy. I don't know what the conversation was, but this Trae Young is the best version of Trae Young because everyone's eating, and with his skill set, he's like, oh, y'all forgot I can go get 24. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, now what? Here you go, young fellas. Oh, you need me to get 18 assists? Here you go. Right? And so, and he's not a dud on defense.
What noise was it?
Wait. But wait a second. Wait a second. I believe, is Trae Young in a contract year?
Is he?
That means yes.
Probably so.
I'm saying, is an extension possibly looming? Because I remember this past summer, and even end of the season this summer, there was conversation in the NBA, not by me, but in the NBA that he had a lower trade market, right? So DeJounte Murray, they're breaking it up. You're talking about potentially giving a smaller guard $50 million, right? So from that standpoint, we were talking about that. Trae's all the talented, but it wasn't clicking.
He's not.
No, but he's got, what does he got? One more year? Can he sign an extension?
Yeah, he'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of 26-27. So he has 2 more years.
So 2 more years. But I'm just saying, the conversation that was around Trae Young, looks a lot different than it did last summer. So when we talk about the difference in players and this is Trae Young, in my opinion, growing and maturing to another level of basketball. This ain't just about me and what I can do and all this stuff. He is ultra talented, but he's playing different. It ain't the pieces around him. He's playing harder on defense. He is sharing the ball. He's doing all the things. He's playing different. This Trae Young was always there, but I don't know if the motivation was already there.
Yeah, shot selection was so much better this year.
I say this respectfully. Fuck those people with those conversations. Because the conversation around Trae Young and this, that, and other. Motherfucker, he took this team to the Eastern Conference Finals. And
what
to
have
be
you done
honest,
for me lately?
He took this organization to the Eastern Conference Finals. And one could argue, if he didn't twist that ankle, that he might have took him a little further. But they might have squeezed by the Milwaukee Bucks that year. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the problem I have with these people with these conversations and these people with these badass eyes. They were trying to say the same thing about Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine, he's under a bad fucking contract. No one's going to trade for him. Those are the same people that never use their grandma coupons and to go to the grocery store. Because, motherfucker, you could have got Zach Lavine for nothing. And what he's doing right now for the Chicago Bulls? He's balling. He's fucking
I'm joking.
So,
I'm joking,
but
Zach.
I just don't understand these people that be labeling these players as like quote unquote losers or not playing winning basketball. Like, where did that come from? Like,
he is not a winner. Zach Lavine is not a winner. Zach Lavine's not a winner. He has never been a winner.
He has not proven to be a winner.
He is not a winner. They are 17 and 19.
When has he been in a situation where he can be a winner?
At some point, listen, if I keep putting doo-doo on top of rice and doo-doo on top of ice cream, it's still doo-doo.
Nah, man.
Can he score? Listen, I'm not saying he's a bad player. He is uber talented and can score with the best of them. It does not equate to winning.
Bro,
it has not ever.
All it takes for Zach Lavine, Allie, you can have the flow. All it takes for Zach Lavine is to get around the right person. Let's not act like the right person don't change your whole.
He's 30.
Hold on, time out. No, listen. Did Bron not have to go to Miami to learn how to win at a high level? I'm asking.
To win a chip? We're just talking about win 5 games in a row. That's it. We're talking about win a chip. We're talking about win 5 games, Bert.
To complete the mission. Right. right?
I'm not asking that of Zach Lavine, but yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay, all I'm saying is this, Shannon. The man needs to be around somebody. You put that man around a LeBron James, so he can see how to be a real, true professional on a day-to-day basis. Hit the weight room when need be. Get treatment when need be. He's gonna soak that up. Like, we don't know what's going on in that fucking locker room, bro. So J Kidd ain't changed your life, Richard?
If we're being 100% honest, I think I changed his life. Having such a I'm saying, like, he has more assists to me than anybody else in his career. So I would like to say this was a mutual. But no, I'm joking.
Richard was a winner. Richard was a winner.
Ooh, Channing, be careful. This is 2025, Channing. Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's, everybody.
This is when you know Channing's really trying to prove a point when he goes to
compliment. Yeah, because say what you say what you want. Look, my numbers might have been my numbers, but I won everywhere. We knew how to play winning basketball.
We know.
Can you answer me two questions? Most nights, talent-wise, is Zach Lavine top 3 most talented player who is on the court most nights?
I'm not saying no.
Yes, that's a yes. That's a yes. That's a yes.
Guys.
Next. Well, yeah, thank you. Get us back on track.
We're going to transition into what about the NBA has your panties in a bunch to finish this episode. But before we do, on the topic of Chicago, it's probably the most cool thing that's happening on the internet right now, or has over the last few days. And you guys know exactly where I'm going. He was a guest on our show on Road Trippin. We were in Minnesota. Channing and I had an opportunity to sit down with Derrick Rose, who was a part of the Cavs at that time. And the fact that the Bulls are fucking retiring Derrick Rose's number jersey, like, one of the coolest things that has been happening, truly. Like, congratulations to Derrick Rose. And I actually am just curious about, as all that was like kind of circulating on the internet and stuff.
Allie, are you getting choked up? No,
I just swallowed my coffee. No, but I do have a soft spot, especially after that episode, Channing, because remember, Derrick is just so quiet, and you and I were going into it like, hopefully we can make a good episode out of this. And I encourage you guys to go check it out because he was awesome. He was so wonderful. But one of your favorite moments of Derrick Rose throughout his career is what I'm like getting to right now.
Mine was when he came into 2008, 2009. We played the Bulls in arguably one of the best playoff series ever, right? And Derrick Rose as a rookie, we didn't know what to expect, and he came in and he bust Rondo ass. They went up 1-0, dropping my ass off in that pick and roll. I was in that drop coverage where he was coming off having a field day cooking my ass. I think he had like 37 in the Garden against the defending champs on the road, stole game 1.
Damn.
Hey. That drop coverage with D Rose was death.
The death cut. Normally the drop is so you're like, oh, we're gonna force him to shoot. He was like, drop, I'm going at your neck.
Yeah. He was running full speed and went,
so you were like, oh shit. Kyrie is like water, where he just would flow and left. Derrick Rose was whoo. And it was just like so physically aggressive, and it was just like so explosive out of every cut and shift. We had him. Tony Parker's going to get upset. TP's a legend, Hall of Famer. This is what I say. I was in San Antonio, and Derrick Rose and TP were kind of going at it. Derrick Rose was doing Derrick Rose. I believe this was the MVP year. Pop comes into halftime, and this Pop goes, "Hey Tony, I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I think this dude's a little different. We're gonna switch and do some different things." Like, he said this in front of the team, like, "Tony, I appreciate you taking the challenge. Like, that makes me proud that you're taking this challenge. But I think we're gonna switch some things up in the second half." Like that. Like, this is prime Tony Parker, won championships after this moment. Tony Parker, like, Hall of Fame Tony Parker. Pop comes in, it's like, Tony, I appreciate you taking the challenge, but I think we're going to have to put a bigger defender or something else on this dude. That's prime Derrick Rose. Like when everyone talks about, ask your man about prime Derrick Rose and see him, like he was very different. We hadn't seen a guy that size with that athleticism, with that explosiveness, and just that. John Morant might be closer, but even close, but he was even more aggressive. He's not as violent. He's not as violent as Derrick Rose was, right? And so shout out prime Derrick Rose. Dude was different. He's probably top 5 players that you wonder what could have been accomplished without injuries. And while that is a shitty place to be, it is also a compliment in a weird way of we understand that part of your success was outside of your control, and we're giving respect to that.
Yeah.
Richard, I have the same story about Phoenix. Yo, Steve Nash goes, hey, motherfucker, y'all got to help me. I can't move like that. Hey, we were like, damn, we have to double this motherfucker.
He might have done it on the same West Coast road trip. He might have done it on that same West Road, San Antonio.
Steve was like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
We're like, hey, we're going to help you, Steve, but I don't want to get boomed on either. I was on the court where he went like this on Goran. Yeah, hey, I was on the court. I said, Goran, no! He jumped up so high and did this. I said, Lord have mercy.
Because and look, respect to the people that took the challenge, because this was started the end where guards stopped guarding guards, where it would be Steph Curry would be on a small forward standing in the corner, and Chris. So this is when Chris Paul would guard Steve Nash, would guard Rondo, would guard Kyrie, would guard Derrick Rose, like John Wall. These were point guards going at it, seeing who can dominate. Pop came in, was like, hey, seriously, Tony, I love the effort. I appreciate what you're doing. I see you taking the challenge, but I think we might go a different direction with this monster. That just shows you when Hall of Famers, like you said, Rondo, Tony Parker, guys that did this, young Derrick Rose was like, yeah, we're gonna have to switch up our game plan. We ain't seen too many Bulldogs. Right. We ain't seen too many No, they were moving perfect. He was just moving different.
The Bulls haven't been the same since. It's just such a shame.
They ain't been the same since.
They're the most mid team ever. Hey, I can bet Vegas 500. That's all they are. 500 every single year.
Shout out to you, Derrick Rose. Having said that, let's finish this episode. What has your panties in a bunch? Whether excited, whether happy, whether pissed off about the NBA that we have not discussed on this episode. And Perk, I feel like you're chomping at the bit, so we'll start with you.
I am. Hold on. Nah, seriously, I am. I usually don't like getting in the middle of people's beefs, right? And I've been saying this little back and forth shit with JJ and Charles Barkley. And look, Charles Barkley, one of the best to ever do it on the floor, one of the best to ever do it off the floor. But he has to be stopped, right? At some point, you have to have some type of self-check. When JJ said we need to start appreciating the game more, I'm gonna say this. Have I been guilty of crossing the line in my media career and wish I could take some things back, although I wasn't saying it in a personal way, but it was a sense of humor, some charisma? Absolutely, right? But JJ hit it right on the head. Hey man, look, we do have to start appreciating these players and what they bring to the table. Charles Barkley, he goes in on JJ with this rant, right? The rant was funny to me because I'm just like, he's just ranting. Now they just going back and forth. Here's the problem that I had with Chuck. He's covering the Lakers game last night or 2 nights ago against Dallas. Halftime, they show that crazy-ass dunk that Braun done, that fucking little baby ceiling fan through the lane, which was fucking crazy. Ridiculous, right? It should have been replayed 20 times. But he's like, we done played it 100 times. All right, cool. Then he goes to talking about the Lakers. And when he's talking about the Lakers, he says, yes, you got Braun and AD, and then you got the rest of them bums. That shit right there pissed me off. Is no player in the fucking league that should be deserve to be called a bum. Like, you make it to this level for a reason. Like, and when you're talking and you have a platform like that, you shouldn't be disrespecting players like that and calling them no bums, man. That shit is not cool. That shit is not right. I know people say, "Oh, that's just Chuck," but these guys also have families and kids that are watching, and these guys worked hard to get to these points, and they're not bums. Like, I think the choice of words, you know, and how we describe and how we talk about guys, like, we do got to hold ourselves accountable. I'm standing with JJ on this one. And when it comes down to talking about LeBron and talking about Steph, yes, we're going to talk about them religiously until they retire because they have done so much for the game of basketball. Did you see their ratings of their game on Christmas Day compared to everybody else's ratings? No disrespect. Wemby and the Knicks, they set the tone and everybody had good games, great day of basketball. But again, when you talk about Braun and you fucking talk about Steph, they just move the needle. But I just didn't like that Charles Barkley shit with calling players bums.
Let me to JJ's point, it was Boston versus Minnesota, and it was right around the time the conversation was. It was a bunch of terrible threes, whatever, blah blah blah.
Oh, the Hornets Bulls game where they missed.
No, I'm talking about, it was a TNT game. Hornets Bulls wasn't on TNT.
Oh, yeah.
So it was. I turn on the game and it's right before halftime. Goes into halftime, whatever, and they're like, "I don't want to watch this trash game. Look, oh, shooting all these bad threes." Which again, they are entitled to it, but it does not matter. If you turn on any show and the people that are hosting the show, pregame, halftime, are saying they don't want to watch this is trash. That is their opinion. I support their opinion. But if your job is to then sell the product, you are doing a shitty job selling the product. It don't matter the product. Like, that's the end of it. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion. You're an ambassador of the game. Anyone in this category, you are an ambassador of the game. Your job is to elevate. You can do it in a way to be like, these guys are bums. This game is trash. That's fair. That's their opinion. To Charles Barkley, they're probably bums. He's an MVP. But don't tell me that you're also selling the product. Because that's all of our job, is to promote the game, to be an ambassador for the game. While some fans are thinking it's funny and everyone has their opinion. Charles is entitled to it. Shaq is entitled to it. We've all gone up and down. But if you're selling a product and that's how you are a part of selling the product, you are not doing a good job of selling the product. Now, you can say, I want it to be better. You can say, I don't like this about it, but here are some good things. If you spend the halftime saying this is trash, people are going to be like, you know what? This is trash. Let me see what else is on. You know what? If Charles says it's trash, it is trash. I'm going to watch something else. So that's the only thing I'm saying. Both can be right and both can be true, right? They got to do a better job, and those do. And JJ has a fair point. If we glorify the game, if we uplift it and be like respectfully critical of the game versus saying, this is trash. Don't nobody want to watch this game. I'm not watching this. All these bad shots with these bad threes. Look at it, this. Charles is not an idiot. He knows that gets great attention, but that does not bring it for them and what they talk about, like we're talking about it. It does not bring jobs to the game. And one thing I was taught as a game caller, your job is to elevate the game.
And that could be like the challenging part of the job, but it's part of the job. And it's where you say perk to the word choice. Because I guarantee that there's a lot of casual fans that tune into that show on TNT because of the entertainment aspect and don't have a clear understanding of the basketball side. And so just utilizing or using those phrases like you just mentioned, Rich, can easily turn someone who could become a fan of basketball, right? Mm-hmm. And not just the entertainment side away and off.
People don't understand that is a entertainment show, right? But here's a true fact. When I was on Phoenix in 2010, I specifically remember Charles saying they're not going to even make it to the playoffs shooting 25 threes. Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal do not like three-pointers. They don't like it, but they don't watch teams that don't shoot three-pointers. You hear me out? They didn't like when Golden State. They remember that?
You guys in 2016, yes. That they'll never win. Yes.
We can't win. We're shooting too many threes. Golden State, they can't win. They're shooting too many threes. Boston can't win, shooting too many threes. the thing is that's their style. It's how they see the game. Now, I agree with you guys that they have to use different words. Now, if a dude is playing scrubby, be like, man, get these scrubby dudes who are playing today off the court. I can understand scrubby. Bummy is a little different.
Wait, Chad.
No.
Chad,
see, when you put the little E like bummy and scrubby, you make it sound like real, like for the toddlers. No. They're actually calling people. They're saying a bum. These are bums.
I can't call people
like
bum. I saw my grandpa get a fight.
No, man, that ain't nothing cool about that.
But
it ain't right. But nobody in the league are bums.
It is an entertainment value. And I'm not saying that Shaq and Charles and these guys need to be checked. That's a different conversation. But I will stand by this. If you're selling a product, that's not the way to sell the product. If you are an ambassador, that is not necessarily the way to be an ambassador. And you can be hypercritical of the product, but when it goes to that space of, I turned it on 2 minutes before halftime, go into halftime, the entire halftime was how this is trash and I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. Then I hear JJ's comments, then I hear Charles' comments, and I'm like, they both have a point. Is this the best version of basketball? No. Did JJ have a point of like, well, yeah, but when we turn it on, if all you guys are talking shit about everybody, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
They don't really like anyone. That's the point.
Right.
That's why I love it.
Speaking of that, how does, and I'm completely changing the subject. I know people got to go. Y'all better hand Coach of the Year to Jamahl Mosley. Hand it to that motherfucker right now. It's not even close. I watch Orlando so much now. I almost watch him more than I actually played there. Okay. How and who the fuck?
You played there?
Yeah. Ish. It was quick. Listen, look. I did it, Jimmy. I went there for the money, I went there for the money and the taxes. And I said I had to get up out of here. But listen, I don't know what they're doing strength training wise. They need to not lift at all. Don't lift, don't stretch, just play basketball so you fuckers stop getting hurt. But the players, it is wild that he could just point down and be like, you come here, do 15 points. You come here, go play 30 minutes, 25 points. Like Bataste, De Silva, like all the dudes, you're like, what? How do you do that? No other team, I don't think, could just go, other maybe OKC, could just go down the line. They're missing 75 points in a basketball game and beating the Knicks.
That is Jamahl, though. That is Jamahl. It's who he was before he became a coach, and it's who he's been able to translate it to play. Like, it is like the most beautiful thing to watch.
Do we got 2 minutes?
Yeah, we got
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Since we giving our flowers, let's end on a positive note. The Detroit Pistons are 500 right now. Ooh. I believe they 18-18.
JB.
Right. Yeah, they're in the playoffs.
Shout out to JB. K Cunningham,
Ball.
All-Star.
Baller.
And they lost they just lost Ivy. They lost Ivy.
Malik Beasley, go from the Lakers to the Bucks to probably not having a destination to going to the Pistons, and all of a sudden, from what it seems like to me, have become like the veteran leader there and been balling. He's been balling. I gotta give credit when credit due. With him, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris, what they brought to that locker room with the mixture of the young guys. I mean, they had 500 in the East. All you gotta be is 2 games.
Wait a second. Everyone, do me a favor.
No.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Everyone, close your eyes. So, look at Houston and look at Detroit.
My eyes are closed.
You get young players, you get an intense coach, and you bring in a couple of veterans, and look at how quickly shit changes. That's why
you serious about closing? I was the only asshole that closed my eyes.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, that just shows you how serious the formula is great. You draft for a couple years, you bring in a couple veterans to show the young players how to be, and all of a sudden, you look at Tobias Harris, who I respect. You go and look at all of the guys that they brought in from Houston. While all of these guys are good players. Once you surround them with young players, you start teaching these young players how to win. It is a beautiful thing. I'm a little disappointed because I wanted Detroit to have one more year of having like a top 5, top 10 pick. Doesn't look like that's going to happen this year because of the way they're playing, but we'll see the second half of the season. Houston, that shit is done. But ultimately, for me, I just love the formula. You bring in a hyper-intense coach that makes people accountable, and then you just sprinkle in some veterans to help the growth of the young players.
They're not only 18-18, they're 8-2 in their last 10, and they've won 4 straight. Perk did say that we were going to end on that. So, Rich, you don't have to give.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Channing did call you a winner in this edition.
Well, because Channing knows. Channing knows. Say whatever you want. Like,
let's end on this. You guys are getting a member of the James gang. This is the first time we're talking.
Oh, yeah. Well, he looked around at the West Coast and was basically like, where is the most elite, high level, amazing environment for a young man to grow up and learn the game of basketball? And there's none greater than the University of Arizona.
How much did you guys just love when Bron had to say that I'm excited to be a part of the Tucson community? Tucson, not Arizona.
Come on down, bro. See, this is
Tucson is very different than Arizona.
Ohio State. If he was a West Coast, if Bron was a West Coaster, he would have loved. If he would have loved Arizona, we know it. He would have gone down there and seen that and been like, yeah,
we're gonna get him in dirtbags one of these days.
We gotta shoot that text, like, bro. Let us know when you go to a game. Let us know when you go to a game. We will be there at that game with Bryce.
For sure.
And next year when we do the Midnight Madness, U of A, Perk, you'll be with us.
Yeah, I just hope I get the invite.
Probably not.
Oh my!
All right, I gotta go.
All of you, I'm so glad that Road Trippin's back, especially for our listeners and viewers who have wrote in and asked when we're back. We are back. Happy New Year, everyone. That's another edition of Road Trippin.
See ya.